Hello, my name is Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome my lovely Form 4 students in our proceeding biology solving for the Necta question. And in our today's session, we are going to solve the biology Necta for the year 2017 for the Form 4 students. So, this is biology paper 1. This is an examination for the year 2017. We are going to solve a numbers of topic concerning our levels from Form 1 up to Form 4 because this is the Form 4 examination. It included the question from all level from Form 1 up to Form 4. Now, in our today question or in our today session, we are going to solve the question number 8 for the year 2017. Our question states that name 3 types of muscles found in mammals. Name 3 types of muscles found in mammals. And Roman B for the question number 8 states that briefly explain how muscles are adapted to their role. Give 3 points. Briefly explain how muscles are adapted to their roles. Give 3 points. This is a question number 8 for the section B, meaning that it carries a total of 10 marks. So this question derived from the topic of the movements from the Form 3 topic as one of the Form 3 topic. It requires a candidate or to require an examinee or you student to be well competent on this topic of the movements, especially in the concept of the human skeleton, where you are going to see a numbers on the types of muscles which are found in the body of mammals. You are going to see where are they located. Also, you are going to discuss on how these muscles are adapted to their function or to their role to perform a designed function which is movement. How this muscle bring about the movement of different bodily organs so as to ensure that a human being or any organism tend to locomote from one place to another, also to move either in one direction and another so as to get their necessities, also to perform different cellular activity. So this is a Form 3 topic question. It requires a candidate to have a deep understanding on the topic of movement in the concept of muscle. So katika concept of muscle is where this question derived. Sio kwamba maswali yote yatatoka katika this concept, It's just need you to have a deep understanding concerning this topic of the movement. So nimeifundisha hapa Educare in case kama hujaisoma. Yes, you are welcome. Uweze kuipitia from the introductory part of the movement mpaka katika last subtopic ambayo tutaweza kuangalia the movement in plants. So this question can be answered as follows. First of all, we have to be familiar with the concept of muscle, where this question has been derived. Kwanza tujue what is muscles. Muscle letu limetuuliza tuweze kuelezea the types of muscle. We can't explain the types of muscles if we don't know what is muscles. So katika concept of muscles, the movement of body parts is made possible by the presence of muscles. The movement of body parts cannot be made possible without the muscles. So muscles are the one which enable the movement of different body parts. Also, we have seen that there are different components of the skeleton, where there's cartilage, ligament, tendons, as well as bone. Where the ligament, the tendons is the one which join the muscles to bone. Yapo ni tendons. We tend to join muscles to bone. Lakini ligaments ni moja ambayo inakuwa ina hold two bones together. Lakini cartilage ni ile ambayo ni very very elastic, used to cover some areas of at the tips of the bone so as to provide the friction, also the cushioning effect to those organisms so as to ensure the bending and the movement in different direction. Also, we have seen the bone, which is the hard and elastic material which constitutes several parts of the body for supporting the weight of the body parts so as to ensure the flexibility, also to enable an organism to move in the upright position. So katika muscles tunasema kwa muscle they are joined to the bones by the presence of this component of skeleton ambayo ni tendons. So the skeleton alone cannot bring about the locomotion and movement. Skeleton alone, or this component of skeleton alone, cannot bring about the locomotion and movement. Locomotion, this is a process whereby an organism moves from one place to another for different purpose, either for searching food, avoiding predator, or searching for mates. Lakini movements, this just involve the movement of a part of a body from one place or from one direction to another without changing the position. Now, a muscle is a contractile tissue specialized for relaxation and contraction to bring about movement and locomotion. So this one is contractile tissue, meaning that it's tissue which is capable of either contracting or relaxing so as to bring about movement and locomotion to the body of an organism. These muscles, they tend to act antagonistically, meaning that they tend to work together but in opposite direction. Kwa mfano, take an example katika muscles which are found into the arm. Tuna muscles katika mkono yetu, tuna two types of muscle. Kuna biceps ambayo ndio ya mbele, au tuna triceps. Unapokuwa so this muscle, they tend to work antagonistically. In case kama biceps ita relax, the triceps ita contract. In case kama ukinyosha mkono wako, the triceps tend to contract, lakini biceps tends to relax. So that is how it bring about the movement. Tunaangalia kwamba the contraction and relaxation of this muscle bring about pulling up your hand, also moving away your hand. So that is all about the importance of muscle. So without muscle, meaning that there is no locomotion as well as movement. So muscles are attached to the bones by the means of tendons and are composed of many elongated fibers which are called the muscle fibers. So these are the constituent of the muscles which consist the many elongated cells which are called the muscle fiber, which are also important to bring about the movement and locomotion to the body of an organism. Also, during the relaxation, the once muscle stretched muscle fiber tend to regain the original shape. Nisema kwamba they are contractile, meaning that they have the elastic property, so they have ability to regain their original shape after performing a certain task. So they tend to regain the original shape and size due to their elasticity or their contractile property. So our question now needs us to discuss on the types of muscles which are found into the body of a human being. So, my lovely form students, our question required us to just explain the types of muscles which are found in the body of human being. Zile nilizoelezea, those are just hints so tuweze kupata picture on what we are dealing with. Tuweze ka explain the types of muscles in kama ujui meaning of muscles. So we have three main types of muscles which are found to the body of human being. So now the first one is the skeletal muscle, smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. So yetu tunatakiwa kuweza kujibu haya. Na sio tu just ku mention. This is a question with the 5 marks. So you have just to explain a little bit and give an example. So by starting with first muscle, which is the skeletal muscle, these are the specialized contractile tissue which are found in vertebrae. So these are the specialized contractile tissue, meaning that they are capable of regaining the original shape and size after performance of a certain task. So they tend to found within the vertebrate. Vertebrate, these are the organisms which are made up of this vertebral canal with the vertebral canal. So they are responsible for locomotion and voluntary movement of the body part. So this skeletal muscle, they are responsible for the movement of different parts, lakini ni voluntary, meaning that they under the control of the nervous system, they under the control of the brain. About in order for movement to occur, there must be reasoning and thinking so as to provide a response from the central nervous system so as to enable the organism to take an action either to move or to locomote from one place to another so as to be in a better condition or position. So they contract and react rapidly but get fatigued in a relatively short time. This type of muscle, they tend to contract very rapidly and relax rapidly, na hivyo zinakuwa zinachoka haraka. Because of this, their property ya kuweza relax rapidly na pamoja na kuweza kucontract. So they tend to perform the function very very rapidly. Just example, take an example during the locomotion, wakati wa kukimbia, running, walking, unakuwa unatumia this skeletal muscle. Kwa unajikuta kwa zinaweza kuweza kujicontract na kuweza kurelax wakati kwa haraka sana na wakati moja, na hivyo inakuwa rahisi sana kuweza kuchoka. And they are controlled by the nerve system by receiving impulses from it. That's what tumesema kwamba they are voluntary muscle. So they are controlled by the central nervous system after. They depend on the information from the central nervous system from the brain so that the response from the from the or nerve impulses from the central nervous system is the one that trigger the contractile movement in this type of muscles. Also, skeletal muscle bring about movement in body tissue due to the presence of tendons between muscle and bones. So this skeletal muscle, they bring about the movement in the body tissue due to the presence of these tendons. Tendons is the one which join bone and muscles together. They tend to hold this kuweza kuattach misuli pamoja na mfupa pamoja, na hivyo kuweza bring about movement. So, in the presence of ligament yenyewe inasaidia katika holding two bones together. So, in the presence of ligament attachment between the bone. Kwa mpaka hapo unaweza kuangalia adaptation of muscles. So, skeletal muscle in skull connecting with the skin and are responsible for facial expression. Kwa mfano skeletal muscle vile vile ipo katika skull, katika fuvu, ambapo imekuwa imeunganishwa, kuna skeleton muscle ambayo imeunganishwa na fuvu ili kuweza kuensure the facial expression na movement of jaws during chewing. Kwa mfano wakati wa kutafuna kitu, movement of this tire ambao ni jaws inasaidia katika movement of jaws during chewing, na vile vile katika protection of these muscles of the skull where the brain is hosted there. Vile vile they also use it to move their foot. Vile vile katika movement usema katika running, walking, these are the skeletal muscle ambazo zina be responsible to bring about the movement. And example skeletal muscle ndio huu hapa mchoro wake. This is skeletal muscle. Nimesema kwamba they are found in this bodily part. Kwa mfano kama juu katika miguu, katika katika skull of the brain and other parts of the body ambazo ni responsible for the skeletal construction or for the skeletal movement. This is an example or demonstration. Tumesema kwamba inakuwa ina small muscles or small fibers ambao ni muscle fiber ambazo ndio zinakuwa zina contract. They tend to bring about the contraction and relaxation during the movement, and they tend to contract it more rapidly, and that's why they tend to get the fatigue very, very rapidly. These are the nucleus. They all tend to have the numerous nucleus. Also, these are the cross striations, so they tend to have this striation. As the second type of muscle is smooth muscle or involuntary muscle. Why do they call them involuntary? So these are the muscles which are involved in the reflex actions. So these are the muscles, they tend to perform their function without control or being controlled by the central nervous system or by the impulses from the central nervous system. So in order to perform their function, they tend to occur very involuntary. So this muscle, they tend to found in those delicate body organ, kwa mfano kama katika digestive alimentary canal. Kwa mfano katika during the digestion, katika alimentary canal uwezo ka control kwamba sasa hivi nataka digestion of food uweze katika place. Hapana, this is involuntary. Na vile vile katika these blood vessels, katika flow of blood, dilation na constriction of blood vessels, this is where these smooth muscles are found. So they tend to work involuntary or without the control of the central system. So these are unstriated, so they tend to have, they are not striated. Tumeangalia kwamba katika skeletal muscle they have the striation, lakini these are unstriated or involuntary muscles made up of long and tapering end cell. They are found in most of the internal organs such as alimentary canal, so they tend to found in these internal organs. Kwa mfano kama this alimentary canal during the digestion or during the peristalsis process katika esophagus, the movement of the food bolus katika esophagus, which tend to create a wave-like motion when the food pass, ambapo inakuwa na relaxation na contraction. So zile ni involuntary, you can't control it. Vile vile katika kidney, function of the kidney you can't control it. Vile vile katika liver, katika uterus, the contraction of the uterus during the baby delivery, you can't control it. You can't control kama sasa hivi nahitaji nisikie uchungu, no, just it's an involuntary. Vile vile kuna katika sperm duct pamoja na katika blood vessel, katika dilation na constriction, katika during the temperature regulation. Vile vile they are not made up of fiber. Tumeangalia kwamba skeletal muscle zenyewe zina made up of fiber ambao ni muscle fibers, lakini zenyewe they are not made up of fibers and are controlled by the involuntary nervous system. So they are controlled by involuntary nervous system, meaning that this involves the simple reflex act. Also, they contract slowly and they not fatigue easily. So this muscle, they tend to contract very, very slowly. Sio kama skeletal muscle, na hivyo inakuwa sio rahisi kuweza kuchoka kwa urahisi. Vile vile, the spindle-shaped cell and their smooth structure facilitate the movement of food through the gut and movement of blood through the blood vessel. So their spindle-shaped cell and their smooth structure, hapo ni adaptation ya smooth muscle. Tunasoma vile tunapata papa adaptation. So they tend to have the spindle-shaped cell and their smooth structure inasaidia katika facilitation of the movement of food through the gut katika alimentary canal. Tusema kwamba they are found in internal organ, kwa mfano kama katika alimentary canal. So they tend to facilitate the movement of food through the gut na movement of blood through the blood vessel. Nasaidia katika vasodilation pamoja na constriction of blood vessel during the blood flow. Vile vile in the eyes, katika macho, they are found within the eyes. Naangalia katika sclera, katika macho yako they are small, kuna muscles ambazo zipo ambazo ni smooth muscles. So in the eye smooth muscle in the iris, they are tend to found within the iris, ambayo iris ni responsible for controlling the shape of the pupil during the light perception, during the mechanism of seeing into the eyes. So they tend to found in the iris and to control the size of the pupil in response to change of the light intensity, where during the high or during the bright light, the pupil tends to decrease in size or to decrease its shape, to change its shape into smaller size, so as to ensure that just a minimal amount of light is allowed to pass through, so as to form an appropriate image. Lakini katika dim light inapelekea kuweza kuongezeka katika size of the pupil, so as to ensure that more lights are allowed to pass or instructed to pass into the eye, so as to make a person to see an object in front of him. So this is the structure of the smooth muscles. Tumesema kwamba they are not striated, they are spindle shaped, na vile vile kwa tapering end with the smooth texture ambayo inasaidia katika movement of food into the gut, na vile vile flow the blood within the blood vessels. Vile vile they are found within the iris katika controlling of the size of the shape of the pupil during the depending on the intensity of the light. So this is the structure of the smooth muscle. They are not striated as you see here. They tend to have this nucleus. These are the muscle cell, na they are not striated kama tulivyoona kule katika skeletal muscles. The last type of muscle ni cardiac muscle. The cardiac muscles, these are the muscles which are found within the heart. So hizi ni muscles ambazo zinapatikana tu katika heart, and they contain the specialized cell ambayo inaitwa pacemaker muscles. So these are also called heart muscle or myocardium. So the cardiac muscle are also called heart muscles or myocardium. Myocardium, these are the muscles which are found within the lining of the heart. So they are only found in the heart, and it's also special muscle which are able to contract without suffering from fatigue under the influence of autonomic nervous system. Katika topic yetu ya coordination tumeona kuna types of the peripheral nervous system. Kuna autonomic pamoja na kuna sympathetic. Sympathetic ni ile ambayo inakuwa ina bring about the relaxation, lakini autonomic ni ile ambayo inakuwa ina bring the sympathetic ambayo to bring about the calmness to the body. Kwa mfano during the rest ndio inakuwa inasaidia katika this dilation relaxation, lakini autonomic ni zile ambazo zinakuwa zinaongeza the contraction effect into the body. So this muscle, they are under the control of the autonomic, which are responsible for the contraction of this myocardium or muscles of the heart. So in this muscle, they tend to contract, but they does not get fatigued easily. So this is one of the adaptation of the cardiac muscle ukicompare na those kind of muscles tuzoziangalia. Skeletal muscle tumeona kwamba zenye they tend to contract very very fast na kurelax, na hivyo zina get fatigue very rapidly, lakini smooth muscle they contract slowly na zina get fatigue very slowly. Lakini cardiac muscle they contract lakini hazigeti fatigue. Why? This is because due to the presence of a specialized cell ambayo inaitwa pacemaker cell, ambayo inasaidia to bring about the coordinated movements or contraction in the muscles of the heart during the pumping of the heart. So the striated nature of the smooth muscle allow pumping of the blood for the life of the animal. Unaangalia sasa hapa cardiac muscle yenyewe ni striated. So this striated nature of smooth muscles allow pumping of the blood for the lifetime of the animals. Kwa this situation inasaidia katika pumping of the blood throughout the life of the animal, inapelekea kuwepo kwa heartbeat, meaning that once the pumping of the heart itakapo stop, meaning that organism tayari atakuwa tayari amesha perish. This is the structure of the cardiac muscle, ambayo tumeona kwamba na this situation ambayo inasaidia katika pumping of the blood into the heart. Vile vile they tend to have this intercalated disc ambayo inasaidia katika cushioning kwa ajili ya kuweza kuprovide the friction au kuweza avoid this friction or collision. Na vile vile they have this nucleus, they have mitochondria kwa ajili ya kuweza kuprovide the energy in form of ATP during the contraction process, and this one is the nucleus. This is the structure of the smooth muscles. Question number 8b ilituambia au iliuliza tuweze kuelezea how muscles are adapted to their function. Tumejua kwamba tayari tuna 3 main types of muscles katika number 8a, Roman A, ambayo tunahitaji kuweza kuelezea types of muscles. So katika Roman B tuitaka tuweza kuandika adaptation of muscle. How muscles are adapted to their function. These 3 muscles, how are they adapted to bring about the movement and locomotion into the body of an organism? So muscles are elastic and have elastic myofibril, which provide the ability to stretch and contract. So they have these elastic and myoelastic fibers, which provide an ability to contract and relax. So this elasticity property enable the muscle to contract and relax, also to bring about the movement and locomotion. And at the same time, provide this elasticity, provide ule uwezo wa kuweza kurelax na contract na kuweza return to original shape without being broken down. So vile vile muscles are supplied with the blood vessel and the nerves. Muscles are supplied with the blood vessels and the blood vessel is necessary for the supplies of the supply of oxygen. Kwa mfano during the katika gaseous exchange, nasema kwamba within the alveoli or within the lungs where there is high concentration of oxygen, so the oxygen tends to bind with hemoglobin to be transported to the area where there is low amount of oxygen. So this hemoglobin, once itakawa inapass katika this muscle cell where there is low amount of oxygen, they tend to be loaded there. Oxygen will be released, na hemoglobin tends to bind with the carbon dioxide, which are released from the functioning or from during the respiration, cellular respiration. Tumeangalia katika muscles kuna this mitochondria. So the food always, or the respiration are always present there, so as to bring about the energy. Na during the release of energy, carbon dioxide na be released kwa wingi, na hivyo it can be taken back into the lungs so as to be exhaled out as the respiratory gas, which is no longer needed into the body, carbon dioxide. So this is one of the nitrogenous compound which are released by these mammals during the respiration. So this blood vessels husaidia katika supply of oxygen na nutrient for the nourishment for this bodily muscles kwa ajili ya kuweza kuendelea kuperform their function. Vile vile zinakuwa zina nerve fiber. Kwa mfano tumeangalia this skeletal muscle ambao ni work under the voluntary control. So these nerve fibers are responsible for the transmission of the nerve impulses so as to ensure that a contractile movement take place in appropriate manner. Vile vile the third one, katika swali tumeambiwa tuelezee only 3. Lakini hapa nimeweza kuelezea nimeweza kuodi some of the adaptation. Vile vile skeletal muscle have tendons. Tendons inasaidia katika attachment of muscles to the bones. Kwa tendons inasaidia katika kuweza bring about the movement. Vile vile kuna ligaments which tend to hold the two muscles together. So skeletal muscle have tendons which attach them to bones, na resulting to stretching, which result in the movement. So this is also adaptation of the muscle. Vile vile cardiac muscle anakuwa na numerous mitochondria for the production of ATP, which act as a power, au tumeweza kuangalia katika structure ya cardiac muscles. So my lovely Form 4 student, thank you for your attention. I would like to welcome you in other coming session where we are going to proceed with the solving lecture, the biology question for the Necta question for the paper A, where we are proceeding with the solving for the year of 2017. Thank you for your attention. Please keep on following Educare Media. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Have a nice moment.